that Jurgen Klopp takes back to Germany with him, and it's not just the trophies, of course, have won, but the way in which he's changed the whole feeling around Liverpool Football Club. For more on that legacy, Frank and Jules are with us. Jules, he really has been, when you're talking about Premier League managers who have left one heck of a legacy, he's up there in that conversation, despite the fact he didn't win as many trophies as the likes of Wenger or Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, that's right. He obviously, as we mentioned earlier, fell in the Guardiola era and this incredible Manchester City era. But for everything that he brought to English football, today is a very sad day, because he's a massive loss for English football. He's a massive loss for football in general, because he won't manage next season. We don't know when he will be back on the bench or where. So it's a massive loss for football in general, but especially, I think, for English football. For Liverpool, obviously, I think it's really rare to see a manager with such a connection to his own fan base. You can be loved by your fans and you can love them back, but the connection that Jurgen Klopp had, or still has and will have forever, with Liverpool, and or certainly the red side of Liverpool and those fans, was just incredible. And it felt very much like he was one of them, and that he belonged there, and that he understood there, he understood the mentality, that he was just like them. And I think that's why he worked so well as well. And there was highs and lows, obviously, the times where he was critical of the fans. But overall, in those 9 years, it was just an incredible partnership. Again, we've talked a lot about partnership on the show tonight, but Jurgen Klopp and the Liverpool fans were one of the strongest that we've seen in the last 10 years.
What's interesting, Frank, if you look back at his first press conference, he said, just call me the normal one. Obviously, that was when Moreno was very much in his pomp. What he did at Liverpool seemed completely organic, and I think that's why that relationship is so much more special than someone who was trying to play games to get in with the fans.
Yes, exactly. I mean, he has been a very professional coach where exactly knew what he had to do, and this professionalism, his humility as well, and the fact he's a hard worker, completely pleased the scouts and the Liverpool fans overall around the world. He went step by step. He created a team. Then he went into something very special with that squad, with the fans, and started to win titles. And as he said in a press conference when he was on the field, he said, "Yes, of course, I didn't have maybe the best era in Liverpool, because Liverpool was very historic at some point. But for a while, we didn't have the Liverpool that we had with Klopp." So he achieved something absolutely fantastic. And I tell you, in France, on the French television, after all the games, the only thing that the French television was showing is not City celebrating, is the tribute for Klopp and his team. And that says a lot about what he achieved and what Liverpool represents and what he has done for the club.
What's interesting is that whoever I speak to, whenever we bring Klopp up on the show, is that everyone says, "I'd love to have played with him."
He certainly seems like an outstanding man-manager. In an era of the game where, yes, they're great man-managers, but there seems to be this shift as well around tactics and strategy. Somehow the man-manager always wins, certainly in terms of player perceptions. Now, there's a couple of things about Jurgen Klopp that I feel his impact in English football is outsized. It's far greater than the trophy hall. As impressive a trophy hall it is, it's even greater than that would suggest. And again, while we're talking about an Arsenal finish second on 89 points, while some may point to him not winning more Premier League trophies, Liverpool finished second at 92 points, with 97 points. That is just unheard of in terms of excellence not being rewarded. The other thing about Jurgen Klopp, and for me, and why I felt he was such a good fit for Liverpool Football Club, and I said this, during my playing days, the away ground I enjoyed visiting most was always Anfield, because I felt the fans were there for the football. They weren't there to shout abuse at the opponent. They were there to appreciate what's happening. And I felt that Jurgen Klopp epitomized that. Now, he may have gotten upset with people and upset a few others, but he was always just there about the football. It was never about antics. It was never about any kind of angst with anybody else and rubbing people the wrong way and saying this about that one or the other. It was just about Liverpool Football Club and their football. And I felt that was a perfect fit for the club, and I feel that's what even neutrals appreciate most about Jurgen Klopp.
Jurgen Klopp was, or is, a very relatable guy, even though he was coaching one of the most important brands in the world of club football. And yet you got the sense, and I'm no expert on the subject, believe me, you got the sense that you could have a beer with Jurgen Klopp, right? That you could go out drinking with Jurgen Klopp and you would have one heck of a time. Now, I don't know whether that's the case or not, but that's just the way that he came across and made it relatable to the fans, made it relatable to the players. Felt like he was a part of the group. And while he was the boss and while he was the decision maker and he was the one making the tough decisions in terms of who plays and who doesn't play, you never really got the sense that his players weren't on board with whatever he said and whatever decisions he made. That's why when Mohamed Salah had the reaction that he had in the silence about 3 weeks ago or so, it was so surprising because it's not part of the legacy of Jurgen Klopp to have that back and forth with players. You almost got the sense that players, if he told you, you run through that wall, you go and run through that wall, and you don't question it. You say, which wall, where do I have to go? Just tell me where to be. And believe me, at this sort of level, you don't find that players are so, let's just say, compliant to do the dirty work and to do the things that are required in order to win matches and what it takes to become the team that Liverpool became. And so to that end, I would say Jurgen Klopp and how relatable he was to the fans, to the player, was one of a kind. The other thing I would say is, to encapsulate everything that Jurgen Klopp was at Liverpool, is good luck, Arne Slot.
Yeah.
Because this is a gap and this is a space that will not be easy to fill.
Yeah, very much so. I'll be interested
Dan,
to see how he gets on.
Just one thing to add. Yeah, sorry. The way he was playing his team, was a gift for the fans. Was a gift for a neutral point of view. While I was watching Liverpool, I was enjoying. We live in a world of football where possession of the ball is the most important thing, and we see that with City. It works, of course, but it's not enjoyable. It makes the game being very slow, where we love, and don't forget we are talking about the Premier League, we love vertical, we love fight, we love pace, speed, everything. And Liverpool was the best example of how to make that bridge between our football at the time that I was playing in the Premier League and the football from now. And they've been successful. So it's possible to be fast, to be crazy at some point, and it's what he showed. I mean, remember that goal from with the corner kick from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and that goal that I forgot the name of that substitute, fantastic substitute who scored. Thank you very much. He scored, and that was the craziness that I'm talking about. That the players were into that, and I appreciate that, and it's why we love watching Liverpool, even if we weren't fans of Liverpool.
Right, that's enough of Liverpool TV now. That's it. Jurgen Klopp's gone. Arne Slot is coming in.
Good luck.
Just to take you through all the results, of course. There were some other significant results regarding who was going to finish in Europe. Chelsea beat Bournemouth, Newcastle beat Brentford, and Spurs beat Sheffield United. So they're all good for Europe next season. Confirmation then, City are champions, 2 clear of Arsenal, and Liverpool in the end fall short by 9 points. Aston Villa, of course, went into the final game against Palace, knowing they'd already qualified for the Champions League. They are 2 clear of Spurs, who are 3 ahead of Chelsea. Newcastle finished 7th. Manchester United would beat Brighton, but in the end, you would see Ten Hag's side finish 8th. At the bottom of the table, Luton officially down alongside Burnley and Sheffield United.